Okay, I would like to explain the folder that I shared with you. The folder is called Machine Learning for Africa. The material that I want you to be working with is in the folder Thrawn here, and it's under Workshops. An RStudio workshop for AAU, and you'll be working with RStudio examples. Now, the data is contained in this Excel file. You can take a look at this file and see what's going on in there. The data is in columns, so you can see how it works. Now we're going to be taking this data and formatting it in R and doing various things to clean it up. You can see there's some Arabic here, there's some, and some of these categories need to be made into numerical. So we'll be doing stuff with this. Right? Now, there is a file that I started, a data cleaning file that I started here, and we can open this in RStudio. I think it will open directly in RStudio if I click on it. Here we go. Now, here are a number of commands up here that must be executed. The first command will not work on your machine, and the reason is that this is my local directory. So this is referring to the data in my local directory. So you're going to have to load it differently. So the way you do this, probably a good way, is to go to Session, Set Working Directory, to Source File Location. Now I'm doing this quickly, but you can go back and look at the video, see what the commands that I did. So anyway, I went to Session, and then Set Working Directory, and to Source File Location. All right? Then from that point, I want to load the data. So the data will be loaded here, and I'll load from text, and I'll find the data which is here, and it will show me the data as R understands it. Now, this is what R understands. And you can see here that the data headings are not recognized as data headings. So you need to click on this here. Right? Once you have that, then you can go ahead and import. And you can see now the data is here. All right? Now, and it displays the data. I don't really need this display because I'm going to be displaying it again. This is left over from my previous session, so I'm going to take that out. And then, well, you can leave it there. It doesn't hurt anything. Right now, so you did not execute this first command. You executed another command, which you can find in your history. It's listed down here. It's this last one here. All right. So you've loaded the data. Now at this point, you can execute subsequent commands here. I can click on the two. To execute this command, you can go Run, or you can hit Control-Enter. So what I would like you to do is go through these commands one by one, and make sure that you understand what's going on. Now I tried to comment the commands. I actually can comment this a little bit better. So this is going to be to rename the data. Comment has a sharp sign in front. So I'm renaming the data to AAU. It's a lot smaller than AAU alumni responses. And then I'm going to remove, and this one is remove the original. Because I don't need this anymore, I've changed the name. So then this is going to be a view data. That's pretty obvious. Okay, so I'll save this so you have this. So go down through this one by one. See if you can understand these commands. These different commands are ways of cleaning the data. And if you ever want to see what the command does to the data frame, you can just go back to View AAU. Right. So for instance, if I do these first few commands, let's see if this is working okay. Like I said, the first command won't work because that will be local, but I can go through and hit Control-Enter. And look, there's blue writing down here, so there's no problem. If there is a problem with your execution, you'll see red writing down here. All right. So I'll continue to go through these. Now this one says remove AAU alumni responses. And if you look back in your environment, you'll see that AAU alumni responses is not there anymore. Now if I view the data again, then it will show the data up here and you can see what the columns are. I'm going to want to remove the first two columns because they're not useful. So I'll go back here and I remove the first two columns. Notice the C makes it a list. So I'm removing column 1 and column 2. All right, that's what the minus sign is for. That means removal. Okay, so try to read these commands, try to understand them. Here I rename the column. Here I list the categories in the column. These are the different categories that are in the column. So you can see there are many, many categories. I want to make this numerical. Now, someone said their age is 1984, so obviously there's a mistake here. So one person was 24, one person was 25, 2 people were 26, etc. Some people put YRS in there. I want to get rid of these YRS, and a couple of people put their ages in Arabic. So I looked this up on Arabic, and that's 39. So we have to do some cleaning here. All right, so the best way to clean is to take your factor and to make a temp variable in case your cleaning goes awry. If your cleaning goes awry, then you don't want to mess up your original data. So you work with temp until you're satisfied with temp, and then you'll write temp back into the frame. All right, so let's go ahead and do this, temp. All right, and then we do, this will substitute the Arabic with 39. Okay, so that's what this will do. This one will remove everything that's not numerical with blank. So letters, blanks, whatever will be removed, will be replaced with blank. This up arrow means not. So everything that's not from 0 to 9. This square brackets means this is what's called a regular expression. So this says that every character that's not within this specification will be replaced with this value. Okay, so that's kind of involved. Just kind of a brief introduction to regular expressions. I'm just showing you this because whenever you have a column that you want to make numerical, you'll use something like this to remove all non-numerical characters like spaces or letters or so on. So this is a very useful command for removing non-numerical data. So I'm going to execute this, and it's all good. And then even though I've removed the non-numerical characters, it's still not a numerical data type. It still treats it as a string or a series of letters. So this one will replace it actually with numbers. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, there were some cases where people put in large numbers like 1984. That's obviously not their year. And 1984 probably is their birth year. So I replaced their age with what their age would be if this was their birth year. So these are the corrected values here. There are 3 values that are wrong, so I put in corrected values here. Okay. Then to verify the new data, I print down here. You can see all these are reasonable. I can actually do a histogram of my replaced data, and you can see the histogram is also reasonable. If you want to look at the histogram, you can zoom in and see. Again, I know that I'm doing this very quickly, but you can rewind the video and see what I'm doing here. And now that everything is okay, I replace replace this modified data into my column. All right. Now I do similar things with several other columns. There's the married column. There's the nationality column, and we're only interested in Sudanese, so we'll remove all the non-Sudanese. There's this column worked outside before specialization, where people put in a number of different options, and we sort of compress the options into a certain limited number. Okay. So the options that we want are Saudi Arabia, other Arabic, UK or Europe, other, or in Sudan. Okay. So work through this, and you can see what this is doing to the data. See if you can see what that's doing to the data. And then here, all right. So I didn't get to married here. This actually shouldn't be here. I'll just take that here. Oh, this shouldn't be married. Sorry, this is a wrong. This here is wrong. This should be summary. This should be AAU of this column, which is country before specialization. All right. So let me fix that, and then copy and fix it here. All right. So now I think it's correct. So this is the version that you should see in the Google Drive, and then this saves the result in this file. All right. So you can go ahead and execute this, see how it works. The other data cleaning operations that I'll want you to do are in this Word file that I will also place in the Dropbox there. So here I'll call it data cleaning, and I'll put it in the same place, the same folder, if I can find it. well, it should be in here, and then I'll go under. So you'll find all of this stuff in the Machine Learning for Africa folder under Thrawn, under workshops, and then it should be under this workshop here, and then I'll just put it right here, data cleaning, and I'll say data cleaning for AAU data. Okay, so it's right there. All right. So take a look at this. You have questions, just please feel free to ask me questions, and we'll have our face-to-face meeting to figure out anything other that you don't understand. Okay? All right, that's it.